Hello. So Project Neural Cloud is currently having its character event for Millau, and there is a stage with a very specific boss that I've been seeing like a few people that are asking questions on how to beat the boss. Now I'm going to be splitting this video into two parts. The first part will be explaining the two main things the boss has, and the second part will be me explaining on well how to deal with those. What dolls specifically might be very good against false god to make sure you have an easier time. Alright, now we load into the stage. Now I'll quickly breeze through. There are three main things to keep an eye out against this boss, so I'll breeze through all three of them one by one, and then after that I'll explain how to deal with the boss. So I'm just gonna hide my face so I can show everything that's happening. Now I'll start the battle quickly off and explain the first thing the boss does. Now Croc has a mark on her. Now this is like a cursed mark that False God applies every time it normal attacks. Now what this means is that whenever a doll has this mark on them, they will just take increased damage from the normal attack only. And the main thing is that this mark stacks infinitely, so there's no limit to it. There's no duration that it goes away after a set duration. It will keep stacking infinitely. So you just want to make sure that you don't have this mark on like all your dolls. Now I'll move on to the next main thing. Yep. Now as you can see on the top right, this skill is called Profane Mark. What it does is that every doll on the field, no matter where they're positioned, will be lined up into a straight line, stuns the dolls for only 2 seconds, which is not a lot, but depending on like if you're using a skill or something, it might hurt you. And these tiles are kind of like entropy tiles, where if a doll is standing on these tiles, they'll keep taking damage. If you have to, you can use the teleport skill to move the dolls out of the way. So now I'll move on to the third main thing you want to keep an eye out on. All right, so now you can see Chilul Hashim. Now that's the third thing. This is where your DPS phase comes in, you could say. Now in this phase, the boss will gain a shield. It will stay still, like it won't attack or use any skills. Now what you have to do is take down the shield, and once the shield is down for the remaining duration of the skill, the boss will take 100% increased damage. So while the shield is up, the boss will take normal damage, or rather, the boss will not take damage, or the shield will take damage. But once the shield is down, the boss will take double the damage. So this is where you use your DPS ultimates and like battery or DPS if you need to. Just make sure you take down the shield quickly and then get that burst or damage for the short duration where the boss is taking double damage. So I'll use my Nasita ultimate here. I'll battery my Arki for example, just to make sure the shield goes down fast. And now for this remaining duration, I'll quickly pause it. Remaining duration, the boss will be stunned and it will take double damage. Alright, so now this is the last main thing about this boss. Again, this won't be like a major thing, that once you deal with those main other two things, this is more like an afterthought. But basically the boss has another skill where it will summon two dummies that will occasionally deal damage. So you do want to take care of them, but if you have a full team, eventually they'll get targeted and they'll die. Now that will be all about what the boss does. Now I'll quickly restart the battle and show off one thing as to why you might not want to use snipers against this boss. So if I just field my snipers instead of my warriors, need to wait. Yep. So as you can see now, false god lines up your dolls. Since your snipers do range attacks, they will not move away from these corrupted tiles, unlike warriors who will like go around to make sure that they attack the boss from different sides. So this is why you might not want to use snipers. Again, if your healer is stacked and your snipers can lift this damage, you can. But now if I continue this battle, for example, as you can see, Kluke and Lamb are taking a lot of damage, and Lamb basically died there. Why? Because again, they were standing on the corrupted tile that deals a lot of damage. So the longer you stay on those tiles, the more damage you take, and you want to make sure you stay clear of those tiles. So again, you could use the repositioning skill if you really want to, but just a heads up that snipers might not be the best play against False God. The next counter to False God using Jessie. Basically, Jessie's skill cleanses any debuffs on your team. So as you can see, Croc right now has her debuff on her, the curse stack. So now if I continue this battle, as you can see, Jessie just popped her skill and that curse stack is gone. So Jessie is like one key thing that if you're really having a hard time healing against this boss, you can use Jessie. Alright, that was all about False God that I wanted to explain. Hopefully this video helps, and let me know in the comments if I did miss anything. and hope you have a better time trying to defeat False God and get the collectible for the Millau event. Thank you for watching.